Happy Valentine's Day, family. I am JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics, and it's all about love and money. I am playing Luther because I'm trying to make sure that you don't get distracted with the sound of my fire alarm. That I tell you, it went off in the studio 6 minutes before I was about to start recording this. So isn't that how it goes? I said, oh no. And I looked and I said, I can't climb that. So that sounds like a very interesting date night. The date night for me will start with him changing the battery in my fire alarm. But the definitely, I hope that all of you have the sweetest of days and that you celebrate love every day, not just today. Definitely make sure that love becomes a big part of your life. Now, I want everybody in the webinar to tell me if you'd rather hear the church or you'd rather hear Luther. If the Luther becomes irritating, let me know, because I will definitely turn it down. Look, I don't know how I selected instrumental, and I'm listening to like live concerts with Luther in an attempt to cover up the chirping sounds. So let's get to our topic today. Look, Luther came out loud and proud. I was thinking of. I thought about love. I thought about Luther. Now that is branding, right? The brother did a fine job. I actually was on a radio show and me and Luther were being interviewed on the same day, right? Big time. So that was cool. He was calling in and I was calling in. I'm not even making that up. Yep. So I can't say I met him, but we did exchange like, hey, over the telephone, huh? So it might have been a discussion about love and money. So definitely make sure that you remember that February is not just about Valentine's Day, but we're also celebrating Black History Month. And that's why I have the New York office location 1441 Broadway at 10 Times Square. Also, look, don't you love it? They have like those two addresses up north. Our New York office, 1441 Broadway, and we're celebrating the grand opening. And even though I've been doing my thing in New York for over a year now, but hey, this is the grand opening Black History Month celebration. Going to have a brunch. Make sure you go and register right at the website, AfroEconomics.com. Bring the love of your life. Bring them on. So let's talk about this. What do you think about, and Luther, I love you, but I just can't do it. Y'all gonna have to enjoy my the fire alarm chirp for a minute. So let's what do you think about this? When you're talking about love and money, what do you think about? Joint accounts or separate accounts? That's a key thing I want you to take from this discussion. Joint accounts, you can say, hey, joint accounts create unity. It's vital to have a joint account for a long-term sustainable relationship. Or is your view separate accounts? It allows us to maintain our independence, and that separate accounts are important because we're in love, but we still can be equal and separate, right? My favorite, but you have to decide what's best for your loving relationship. So my favorite is actually joint accounts, but also separate accounts. So it's important for you to kind of figure out by communication. The key to love and money is communication. The only way that we're going to discover our financial compatibility is through talking about it. If you're in a relationship that you cannot talk about money openly, now it's about timing. It's totally inappropriate for people like, one day I had this man I wasn't even dating, ask me how much money I made last year. Now, I think that is the most ignorant question that a person can ask another person, male or female. It is inappropriate to ask someone that you're expressing interest in how much they make. That you will know when it's time. It's time. It's well before you get married, but it's not time when you're just getting to know each other. So you can still test your financial compatibility before even knowing how much they make, because what's most important, are they living within the means of the money that they make? I know, in my opinion, I don't care if you make $5 a week, as long as you're spending only 4 of the 5, you're doing okay. It's not affecting you. But when you're in a relationship and they make $5 a week and they're spending 10, that could become a problem, and you have to notice that behavior as early on as possible. I love a brother that will live below his means so that he has that cushion, so that he doesn't have that stress of trying to keep up with bills that are unnecessary bills, of trying to create a look or a profile or a presentation that's not real. But you have to decide what's important to you. Are you in love with a sister who is putting her hairstyles on a credit card, and asking you to help make those payments, and you can't afford to do that? I mean, these are things that are real that you need to notice in that behavior, so that you're not saying down the road, I had no idea that she had this spending problem. No, we want to find out our financial compatibility as early on as possible. A good marriage counseling situation or a good communication system that you'll have will be aware of, we need to know what each other's credit situation is. You need to know, like last evening where I was having a conversation with my sweetheart, and he told me his credit score. I didn't ask for his credit score, but those things just should come up. Thank God he has good credit. But we need to, know about these things as they're being discussed, being open to hearing it, understanding that, and having someone in your life that understands that's important, if it's important to you. Now, financially it's compatible could mean that you both could care less about any of those things. So any of that stuff, sometimes it's a maturity issue, because you can meet people at different stages of their life and they mature to that. There are a whole bunch of people that have been married 30 years and the man they have 30 years later is not the teenager that they met, So are you in a position to financially mature together? So it really doesn't matter where they're from. It really matters where they're at. Where is their mind today? What is their mentality today? And so we want to say, I wrote down that it is vital to get to know, respect, and understand each other's financial personality. Know, understand, and respect. That says a lot. Just because you know it doesn't mean that you're respecting it. If you can't respect someone's financial personality, then you're not compatible. Because compatibility does not mean that we are both the same. It just means that we respect each other. It could be that your weakness, and because you're compatible, that you complement each other. That you decided that we need to have a joint account that both people have to sign, because you realize that you are an overspender, but your husband or your wife, she's not that way. So you want to make sure that you do the things, because you're compatible. The person who's financially challenged is open to your help in helping them build a better financial life. So what are your views about money? What is their credit score? Their credit score and their credit report, most importantly, You should be open to looking at each other's credit report, especially as you approach getting married or are married. If you are married, you need to be looking at each other's credit report at least once a year. There's so many people who pass away and the other person has no understanding of the credit, of each other. They didn't know that they went out and got all these credit cards. They didn't understand. They didn't even know why they were under this extreme amount of stress and fussing every day and upset, and it, could be connected to that stress that they had. And sometimes one person doesn't realize how much it takes to keep the family going. I've spoken with a couple and the husband was like, I'm not going to help get clothes for the kids. And they had a lot of kids. So she ended up getting all these credit cards to buy clothes for back to school. And, they had like 4 or 5 kids. And so this one person is accumulating all this debt and the other person has decided they're going to be in denial about we can't afford everything that we have. So, that's financially not compatible, but you can work through that. But you have to communicate, because you must rest assured the person who's accumulating all that debt is not communicating well to the other person how important getting the things that they're buying is or are. Maybe they're not even important. And maybe they need to be communicating better to the other person who's now got to help them pay off that debt, why it was important for the kids to have 100 pairs of shoes. The other person, they have enough. And if you have to go out there and put it on the credit card, then you're on your own. Sometimes that's what it is. So we need to really communicate. That goes back to the communicating. That goes back to that. The a second point is, if you are not or you're not the same as, doing the double signatures. He said, if you're not the same, I'm writing down, then do double signatures on your transactions, on your bank accounts, on your brokerage accounts, on your investment accounts. Require that they have to have double signatures or double authorization. Get those things in writing. If you have the same views, then you can do a lot of joint accounts. If you have different views, don't set yourselves up for being mad at each other. Do separate accounts. Separate stuff. Keep it independent. Just make sure that everything gets paid. Make sure it gets paid. Here's a couple's personality questions. Now, look, y'all that are in the webinar, you're in there. Ask me any questions before we go. Here's a couple of key points, because I know y'all are taking your sweetheart out to lunch today. That's what it is, right? But I really am thankful to all of you who have logged into the webinar. This is a fabulous day. I'm glad you like the topic. So if you have any specific questions for why you logged in, make sure you ask me. So let's look at how you can tell someone's financial personality, their lifestyle, or the lifestyle. What is their idea? Like, as you just say you're about to get married and you want to get an understanding of what is their idea of a good life. Like, what should life be like to them? Is it that they've always wanted this great big huge house and they have to have luxury cars and, not just one, but they need to have like 3 or 4. They like to have a truck and this little, and they need the truck and they need the Porsche and they need the, they need those sedans and they need a boat and they need a camper? Or is their lifestyle more that they want a small house in the country and that's their vision of what they've always wanted, with a whole bunch of just trees? Or is their idea that they want to live in the middle of the city in a really nice apartment on Broadway? So what is their lifestyle idea? What is their lifestyle now? What is their lifestyle goal? What is their retirement goal? When you get grown like me, you got to think about, like, what do you think about your, future? How do you see your future? How do you want your, I don't see. So my sweetheart has to acknowledge the fact that I don't think about retirement. I just think about being able to work and enjoy myself, travel more, and really focusing on Afroeconomics globally, as I grow up. So definitely you have to say, are you lifestyle compatible? Anybody, for my lifestyle, will have to really appreciate, that I enjoy, love my work is my lifestyle, and I have, at the same time, I have very strong family values. My daughter is very important to me, very loyal, very committed to, my family. So, that those things are important too. So you have to get a good understanding of their lifestyle and what it's going to take to create the lifestyle that they have in mind. And is that compatible with you? Understanding a financial personality. Risk tolerance. Now, I have a little risk score that I give couples and individuals, just people, to get an idea of how much volatility they can take, when it comes to stock investing, but, that and portfolio investing in general. But, you can kind of tell someone's, risk tolerance by their vocabulary, by the words that they say. They might say, I can't stand that stock market. They're not going to take all my money. They might not have any idea how stocks work. They're not interested in it. They don't want to do anything but a savings account. So you have to see, like, what is their vision? How is their attitude? Or did they grow up with an investment advisor in the house constantly talking about, investing in wealth development and legacy and things like that? So what is their risk tolerance? What's their approach? What is their understanding? Is really risk tolerance in many cases comes down to their financial knowledge. Generally, people are able to do and tolerate things that they understand. If they don't understand it, they don't know about it, typically they're going to stay away from it because they don't know it. So the more we know, as the second principle of Afroeconomics, the more we increase our knowledge, right? The more we're able to understand volatility and risk and things. So, and a third point, I think, is a good way to kind of understand someone's financial personality is understanding their belief system about how money should be managed. Do they believe that the man should pay all the bills and that everything is his responsibility? Like, like in my relationship, he believes you should pay everything. He's probably watching. He's like, yeah, right. He believes that the man should pay for all the bills, everything, get the woman everything that she wants. No, but but there's some women and some men that truly believe that. Now, so what is their basic core belief system? Do they believe that they have a problem with, a woman, or some women that have a problem with a man making more than her or something like that? Like, there's probably some, I don't know, but there's probably some woman that says she doesn't like a guy that makes more money than her, or a man that says he doesn't like a woman that makes more money than him. Is that your situation? Those are the things that you need to see. What is their basic belief system about relationships and money? And his and hers. Everybody needs to know, like, what you think, because sometimes their thought process is totally different than your thought process. A lot of times their belief system is based on how they were brought up, how their household was for them as a child, and they still have those same things, haunting them or developing them or in their mind. But what is their financial belief system about money and relationships? It says if you can get an early glimpse that a person's financial profile is going to be a burden to you, do you walk away before getting into a regular dating? In other words, may it be one red light. It is a great big flaming red light. In my opinion, you run, not walk. If you know that their financial profile has a possibility of being a burden to you, run. Take it from a grown person who's been through divorce. You run, and run. Run. If they're going to, even the mere fact that you think like this could be a problem, run. And you don't have to be mad at them, but it will be worse if you know that you don't like that. You don't like that they have to, buy a $2,000 purse all the time, or you don't like the fact that, he keeps buying all these, things for his hobby, and it's irritating to you. And then the next thing, and he or she needs help with their bills, the next week after doing something totally irresponsible, or they don't go to work. You see this? It's not just a red flag, it's a burning red flag. And if you proceed, you have to be willing to accept responsibility for your behavior. You can go right into it and say, you know what, I'm not going to let money and those type of habits come between us. But at least don't get mad at them. See, what happens is you realize that, and a lot of times they just keep on going, walk on into it. And then all of a sudden you think for some reason that that's going to change. Most grown folk stay the same grown folk that they are because they're grown folk. So they have got to really make a concerted effort outside of you to acknowledge and change those type of behaviors on their own. Love can't make you change. You got to really want to change. You can't love somebody into being a different person. They've got to love themselves into being a different person and more financially responsible. They've got to want that for themselves. Is that right? I always believe that your relationship with God is what keeps you, loyal in it. Nobody can make you be loyal. It's you and God that keeps you loyal, because everybody will always disappoint you. And the same with money. You got to want a particular way of life for you financially, and it's not up to you. And of course, we were talking about like a person who's dating, and his question was, if it's a red flag, do you run away? Now, of course, when you're talking about financial challenges and you're married, you need to get the family membership to AfroEconomics. Yeah. And then I even have a membership called Before You Say I Do. Like, these are some things that we should talk about. I have, some couples now that I'm working with, and it's not the easiest thing, because you've got to get both of your schedules connected in order to make it happen for you. But it gives you more time together. It gets you communicating and talking about money. So seriously consider, if you want to have a financially healthy relationship, joining AfroEconomics and working on these financial goals that you're setting together, working on developing your risk tolerance profile together, working on setting up a budget together. And I'm there to help you with that. I am. Kick it off in New York, right? Take a weekend away. All of my friends in New York, I look forward to seeing you, and I appreciate your registration. We have quite a few people who have already registered. I know it's not this weekend, it's next weekend, but let me know. If you are watching right now and you're in love and you would like to get a ticket to brunch for you and your wife or your loved one, and please make sure you email me right now, jb@afroeconomics.com, jd@jbbryan.com. Email me right now, or go to the website, click to chat with me now, get to me now, and I would love for you to get 2 tickets to the brunch for you and your loved one. So I'll only give that to the first 2 couples, though. I look forward to it, y'all. Keep on loving one another. God bless y'all. Stay positive, and don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. Have a wonderful, wonderful Valentine's Day, and may love be a part of every day, not just today. I'm JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics. I'm at 1-844 JB Bryan. God bless.